welcome to BigCountryPreps.com. I'm Evan Wren, and this is our Countdown to Two-A-Days series, our daily look at an area football team and the key questions we're going to be answering about that team in our Saturday, August 14th preseason preview. I'm here with my partner, Dan Youngblood, via Zoom, and tonight, Dan, we're talking about the Comanche Indians.
Yeah, and this will be the first season under new coach Joaquin Escobar, a Comanche alum who most recently was at Carrizo Springs, leading them to the playoffs. Before that, had coached at Edinburgh, a guy who has really won everywhere he's been. So I think this will be an interesting transition. Obviously, losing Coach Stephen Hermsmeyer, that's a significant loss. He did such a great job at Comanche and was really just a very positive influence on that entire athletic program. So big shoes to fill, but I think it's interesting that they kind of went with the guy from Comanche. They're bringing Coach Escobar back home, and I'm excited to see kind of what he can do this year because I think he's a guy that will bring a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm to what he's doing.
Yeah, and thus far, he's shown a lot of enthusiasm, and you hope that for a first-year coach. And he really has. They're going to be going away from the wing T in Comanche. And actually, if you're going to do that, this might be the good year to do that because you have a lot of fresh faces coming up to play on varsity. And that's, instead of, teaching old dogs new tricks, you've got a bunch of new faces up there. So it's an opportunity to start from scratch. Coach likes to spread the field a little bit more, still a running style offense that we can expect from Comanche, but they are going to spread the field a little bit more, which should be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you're going to see more tempo. You're going to see kind of a power spread look. But I do think you make a good point. They only returned 9 lettermen. They lost 21 from last year's team. 4 offensive, 2 defensive starters returning. The one thing that'll be interesting is that they're going to be using replacements from a 6-3 JV team. So some kids who really experienced some success and I think are used to competing. So I think that'll be interesting. But I think it is going to be there are going to be some challenges and some question marks in Coach Escobar's first year, just in terms of filling holes and finding the right fit in different places, particularly when you're switching to a new scheme. But that part I think will be fun as well, because I think that part will probably add a little bit of energy. I mean, obviously, change can be difficult, but sometimes it also can be exciting. I think that's going to be the case here. You're going to see a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm.
It's one thing to have a young football team or to have a small football team, and you don't want both. Comanche is going to have a young football team, but their one saving grace, Dan, is they do have some size up front. And when you have a young football team, but you're big up front and can still knock people over, that can buy you time. That can buy you time to mature and let everybody else catch up and just, play possession football. They may have an opportunity to do that with players like Dominic Rios, who's 245 pounds, Ezra Rios, 265-pounder, Ethan Morin, who is 250 pounds. These are the types of guys that you want up front to buy time for those youngsters in the backfield.
Yeah, and one thing I like about what they're doing is while they are changing schemes, Coach Escobar still kind of vows to play physical smash mouth football. So that part's not going to change. I think one of the things that's kind of been a hallmark of Coach Stephen Hermsmeyer's team is they're going to play tough defense. They're going to run the football. I think you'll see a lot of those same things just from a different look. So I don't think it'll be a really overwhelming transition. I think that some of it will kind of come a little bit naturally. But anytime you have this type of change, you're going to have kind of a transition period and need that. So I think a lot of it will be kind of how they're able to kind of build some of these things through that non-district schedule and kind of see where it goes from there.
All right, let's take a quick look at the Comanche schedule for 2021. It's never really going to be easy for Comanche based on what they've done over the last few years. That's always going to be a challenge, and that's just the way it's set up. So the positive way to look at it is, you know what? We get through this non-district schedule, and guess what? We're going to be battle hardened for district, and that's typically the case with Comanche. They've taken on all comers, and then they get into district and they perform well. That non-district schedule with Mason and a Brady team that we expect to take a step forward this year, an early team that is moving forward, Toller, who should be better than they were last year, and then a road game at Cisco, which is going to be that's always tough.
Yeah, they're going to face a number of challenges in that non-district schedule. The one thing that'll be interesting is I think that it's maybe a little on the lighter end to start district. You get a Dublin team that's going to be young and in transition with a new coach, an Eastland team that graduated a lot of talent off last year's team. And fortunately, I think when you look at this district, I mean, there are a couple of challenges, but it's not an overwhelming district. So if Comanche can, kind of going to take their lumps and kind of build on those things and not lose confidence, I think that they've got a real opportunity to compete once district starts.
All right, that's just about going to wrap things up for tonight's episode of the Countdown to Two-A-Day series, the Comanche Indians. But we want to remind you that on Saturday, August the 14th, Big Country Preps will release its preseason preview, which will be the most complete, most thorough preseason preview from any media source in the area. We'll be taking a good close look at Comanche and all the other teams in the Big Country. Nobody's going to beat us.
In the meantime, thank you for checking out this episode of our Countdown to Two-A-Day series. And make sure you tune in again tomorrow when we will be highlighting the Dublin Lions here at BigCountryPreps.com.